Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, and I'd like to welcome you to the Daily Compliance News. The Daily Compliance News is an offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. December 18th, 2018. First up, the Securities and Exchange Commission has fined the Bank of New York Mellon $54 million for a naked release of ADRs. This is improper handling of pre-released American Depository Receipts, or ADRs. The regulator fined BNY $54 million for improperly providing ADRs to brokers in the thousands of pre-release transactions when neither the broker nor the customer had the foreign shares needed to support these new ADRs. Next up, the Colombian court has fined a consortium led by Odebrecht some $250 million for bribery and corruption in that country. The court is seeking a substantive suspension of Odebrecht from working on state contracts in Colombia for 20 years and has opposed Odebrecht's attempts to pay $33 million in compensation and to end the investigation. So Odebrecht's woes continue into South America. Facebook announced that a major software bug had allowed third-party apps to wrongly access photos of up to 6.8 million users, including images that people had begun uploading to the site but had not posted. This mishap had occurred in a 12-day period in September, yet for reasons unknown only to Facebook, they're just getting around to announcing this. It's unclear how many of the people are covered by GDPR, so you can only surmise that Facebook's fines under GDPR are racking up by the day as they continue to have data breaches and are not timely in their announcements about them. And finally, in the biggest news, and what I'm going to devote the rest of this Daily Compliance News podcast to, is the announcement that the country of Malaysia has filed criminal charges against Goldman Sachs and former partner Ted Leisner in connection with the 1MDB financial scandal. The country has claimed that there was an omission of material information and publishing of untrue statements in the offering documents for the 2012-2013 sale of international bonds by 1MDB, which was handled by and brokered by Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs' defense, of course, is, well, that our customer lied to us and that everything is their responsibility. The problem is, of course, that there's been democratic regime change in Malaysia, and now the government wants some or all of its money back. The bank paid $600 million in profits, and was $6.5 billion total in bonds. Malaysia considers the allegations and the charges against Goldman Sachs to be grave violations of its own securities laws and reflect the severity, and therefore the prosecutors are seeking criminal prosecution in addition to $2.7 billion misappropriated. It's going to be interesting to see how those plays out, but it cannot be a good announcement or a good day at Goldman Sachs. As I previously indicated, I've decided to move forward with the Daily Compliance News into 2019 each day. If there's a different format or different information distribution that you would like, please give me a shout and let me know. tfox@tfoxlaw.com. Also, I hope you will check out some of the new offerings on the Compliance Podcast Network. Jay Rosen and myself have started a new podcast series, Popcorn and Compliance, a look at compliance through the lens of the movies, that premiered Saturday, December 8th, and will post bi-monthly on Saturday for your entertainment and enjoyment listening pleasure. Finally, Mary Shirley and Lisa Fine have premiered their new podcast, Great Women on Compliance. I hope you will check that out. It's a great podcast series. We have several other offerings that we are in production and will go live after the first of the year on the Compliance Podcast Network.